Okay. So today we will be looking at the 21st Sutra. The 21st Sutra is Tivra Samveganam Asannaha. So Tivra means the intensity with which one faces the path of Asampragnata Samadhi. Okay, in all the previous sutras, in the 18th, 19th, and 20th sutra, we saw that people are tending towards Asampragnata Samadhi. Now, there are different kinds of yogis who practice samadhis, right? And their urge to reach the Asampragnata Samadhi will vary. Now, the next two sutras talk about the kind of intensity, the urge with which they're trying to attain Asampragnata Samadhi. Okay, that Tivra word represents the intensity of the practice. Samveganam. Samveganam means the progress that they are trying to make, the momentum with which they are propelling or moving towards Asampragnata Samadhi. If the movement is intense, that is when one can attain it sooner. Okay, that is when one can attain the Asampragnata Samadhi sooner. Okay, Asannaha means it is coming to a very closer state, like which becomes very imminent. It becomes very obvious that they would be attaining Asampragnata Samadhi. Okay, so this sutra says for those yogis who practice the techniques with intensity. Okay, for those yogis who practice the techniques with intensity and the momentum of progress is great. So for those kind of yogis, Samadhi is very, very near. It is very imminent. It becomes quite obvious that they will be attaining the state of Asampragnata Samadhi very soon. Is that clear? Okay, so I will also start presenting my screen so that you can also look at the sutra. And just give me a second. Let me know if you're able to see my screen.
And Samvega means
Yes.
same speed.
Sorry?
Samvega.
Samvega is the progress. Okay, Samvega is the momentum with which they are making the progress. Momentum with which a yogi is making progress. Samveganam. Okay.
Ma'am, in our Telugu also they say, no, Vegam. Vegam means speed.
Speed. That is why I'm telling that it is related to the movement, momentum. The movement of the progress that they are making. If the momentum is great, the progress is very fast, right? Getting it? For the who are making a very fast progress, their attainment of that samadhi, Asampragnata Samadhi, is very obvious and very quick. Okay, now this Tivra Samveganam Asannaha, when they say this, they said that the intensity and the momentum with which one makes an effort depends on three different kinds of yogis. Now, who are those three different kinds of yogis is given in Sutra number 22. So, the three different kinds of yogis are Mrudu, Madhya, and Adhimatra. Mrudu, Madhya, Adhimatra. So, Mrudu are the people who are a little slow and very mild in their practices. Okay, Madhya are the people who take a medium pace. They are neither too slow nor too fast. They are at the medium pace. And Adhimatras are the ones who are the ultimate yogis, like they are very, very, very intent and very strong in their determination to reach Asamprajnata Samadhi. Those are the ones who are Adhimatras. Tatah. Tatah is from that or due to which. Okay, api is also, tato api, from that also. Visheshaha, Visheshaha is distinct. Okay, being distinct or special, as it is said here. Now, how do we understand this particular sutra is, even for the people who have the desire to attain Asamprajnata Samadhi, there are different kinds of practices and practitioners. Now, depending on what they apply and the intensity with which they make the progress, that is what determines when they will attain Asamprajnata Samadhi. Now, this intensity and the momentum with which they are making progress for each of these three categories, Mridu, Madhya, and Adhimatra, turns out to be 9. Okay, we have 9 different combinations which come out. Wait, I'll open the jam file so that I can make this point very, very clear. Just give me a second. Okay. Let me know if you're able to see the jam file, the whiteboard.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I told you we have how many categories of yogis are there? How many categories?
Mridu, Madhya, Adhimatra.
Yeah, there are 3 categories, right? And we saw that in Sutra number 21, there is Tivrata and Samveganam, right? Samvega and Tivrata. Now, what is Tivrata? Tivrata is, one second. What is Tivra? What is the meaning of Tivra? Intensity.
Intense practice.
Yes, intense practice. One second, my stylus is not working. This is intensity. Okay, and Samvegana, what is Samvega? Samvega.
Progress.
Yes, Samvega is the
Momentum.
progress which we make. Yeah, momentum or progress that we are making. Okay, now these two are very important aspects. Now, there are 3 kinds of yogis, right? Who are the 3 kinds of yogis? Yogis are of 3 kinds. Mridu, Madhya, and Adhimatra. Getting it? So the Mridu kind of yogi will pair up with, so Mridu Tivrata. So Mridu Tivrata is nothing but Tivrata comes with what? With the kind of technique that they are using. So Mridu Tivra, or the intensity. You can write it as intensity if you don't understand it this way. Okay, Mridu Tivra. Okay, and Mridu Samvega. Okay, Mridu Tivra and Mridu Samvega. Okay, then we have Mridu Tivra and Madhya Samvega. You getting it? My stylus is not cooperating. Mridu Tivra and, sorry, and Madhya Samvega. I'll just put Samvega, S for Samvega. Then Mridu Tivra and Adhimatra Samvega. Adhimatra Samvega. Getting it? So in the Mrudu yogis, where the Mrudu Tivrata is described, we have three combinations. What are those three? When the intensity or the upaya that they are using, the technique that they are using is Mrudu. So for those kind of yogis with that technique, we have three combinations. What are the three combinations? Mrudu Samvega, Madhya Samvega, Adimatra Samvega. Similarly, for Madhya yogis, Madhya Tivrata or Tivra, we have Mrudu Samvega, Madhya Samvega and Adimatra Samvega. Similarly, for Adhimatra Tivra, we have Adhimatra Tivra Mrudu Samvega, same, Madhya Samvega and Adhimatra Samvega. So these combinations are 9. You're getting it? So the highest form of, I can say, the people who are of the highest intensity and propensity or the progress that they're making are the yogis who are of the Adhimatra kind, Adhimatra Tivrata and Adhimatra Samvega. Getting it? The last kind. So Adhimatra Tivrata and Adhimatra Samvega. Those kind of yogis are the ones who attain the asampragnata samadhi faster than all the others, because they're putting a lot of effort into it and they're very, very eager to attain that state. All the others are kind of are there, but not, they are still pacing their own journeys. So there are some kind of glitches and hurdles in their path. Sometimes they don't, their intention is good, but their practices are not good enough, or they're getting carried away because of the cities or whatever reason, but somehow it fizzles out. Okay, for the one who is Adhimatra kind of yogi with the Tivra Upaya and Adhimatra Samvega, that kind of yogi will be attaining the Asampragnata Samadhi the fastest. Is that part clear? Is that
Yes.
clear? Or,
Ma'am,
yes. Hey, just give me 1 second, guys. You all keep discussing. I'll be back in a minute. Just give me a minute. There's some kind of noise. Are you able to hear the noises? Just give me
no,
a
ma'am.
second. 1 second. I'll still let them know that it is disturbing and then come back. Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So whatever I explained, was that clear about the Mridu, Madhya and Adhimatra? So you remember that there are 9 different combinations, okay? 9 different combinations. So what do you combinations with Mridu, Madhya, Adhimatra? What are you pairing it with Tika and Samvega? Okay, each of these Mridu, Madhya and Adhimatra, you are pairing it with Tivra and Samvegana. And the highest form is get it. So 3 cross 3 is 9.
Your
Ma'am, your
voice
voice
is
is
breaking.
breaking little bit. Can you repeat, ma'am?
No, I was saying the same thing. The combinations that we see with these Mridu, Madhya and Adhimatra are 9. They make 9 combinations. So one with the Adhimatra
Ma'am, can
Tivrata,
you explain
what is it, Sakshi?
ma'am, please can you explain the Madhya and Adhimatra once again?
Madhya is the category who are of medium. They are the sadhakas. Intention is there, but not very strong in their intent. There is progress, but there is not such a good progress that can they attain the asampragnata samadhi. In progress, but sometimes they are intent and sometimes they are not. So that's why that progress is also in the same way. Getting it? But when you see
Okay, ma'am.
Adhimatra yogis are the yogis who are really having a very strong intention, and also their progress is very quick. They don't have any kind of distraction. Their only goal is to attain asampragnata samadhi. Such yogis attain it really fast. Okay. So out of the 9 combinations, you see the last one, that of the Adhimatra Tivrata and Adhimatra Samvega are fastest to achieve the Asampragnata Samadhi. Okay, for these yogis, what is happening in their mind field? Their mind field is really incapable of the Vyuthana samskaras. Vyuthana means the one which fall off to lower chitta bhumis. We have learned chitta bhumis, remember? Chitta bhumis. What are the chitta bhumis? One of you, please. Priyanka, can you repeat the chitta bhumis for all the others?
Ma'am, Chitta Bhumi is the states of mind. It has 5 steps. Means
Ek minute, let Priyanka answer that.
There is a Chittubhumi. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can.
Hello?
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes,
There is a 5
Priyanka.
state of mind. There is a 5 state of mind which is called a Chittubhumi. First is Vichipta Avastha. Second is Mooda Avastha. Third one is first is Chipta and third one is Bichipta. And fourth is Ekagra, and fifth is Niruddha Avastha.
Sakshi, can you repeat this?
Ma'am,
Sakshi
first is,
Jaiswal.
yes, ma'am, there are 5 types of Chitta Strata. First is first
Chitta
is
what?
Chitta,
Chitta bhumis.
Chitta Bhumi, sorry. First is Shipta, second Muda, third Vishipta, four Ekagra, and five is Niruddha.
Good. So you have to always remember, it is very important, that concept. Never forget it. Okay. So for the Adhimatra Tivrata and Adhimatra Samvega kind of yogis, with that combination, they will never fall back into the Vikshipta, Moodha and Kshipta avasthas. They are always in Ekagra, sometimes going into the Niruddha also. Okay, they will not fall back. That falling back in lower states is called Vyuttha. Okay, write the word notes. Dhyana, falling back to the lower states of Chitta
Your
Bhumi.
voice is
Samadhi is the opposite of Vyuthana. Okay, Samadhi is opposite of Vyuthana.
ma'am, your voice.
Ma'am, your voice
Okay.
broke, ma'am. So did you say that yogis who reach the Ekakrita Niruddha level don't fall down?
Yes. So the Adhimatra Tivrata, with Adhimatra Tivrata and Adhimatra Samvega, those yogis will not fall back into the Vyuthana avastha. Okay, they will not fall back into the lower states, lower bhumis. All the others might keep falling back into the lower states or lower chitta bhumis, but the ones who are in Adhimatra state, they will not fall back because their intensity is super high. Getting it? So
Ma'am,
the
Tivra Samvegana. Sorry, ma'am. Tivra Samvegana means intense momentum, no, ma'am. Why are we categorizing them again into Tivra and Samvega, two categories?
Tivra is the intensity related to the technique being used, the upaya. Intensity of what? Intensity of using the technique. Intensity of using the technique. Technique can be Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna. Okay, or it could be any other technique. So the technique also matters. The technique that they are using, the intent with which they are using the technique, that matters. The intent with which they are using. Now I use Shraddha, but I'm not very devout. You understanding what I'm trying to say? I'm using Shraddha, but I'm not a very devout person. What happens? Sometimes I get into the state of devotion, and the other times I'm not. Most of the times I'm not. So what kind of yogi I am? I might be a mrudu yogi. Okay, mrudu. Here the technique that I'm using, I'm not with a great intent of using it all the time. But whereas in Adhimatra yogi, you see, he will use the same technique, Shraddha, throughout his existence. I mean, 24 hours, he will keep concentrating on the same thing. Getting it? So his Shraddha is such that he is 24/7, he's only on that. His mind, his every aspect is only thinking about that. There is nothing else in his head. That is the intensity. Okay, for such a yogi, the momentum of progress, the way they make the progress is very, very fast. You're able to understand this?
Yeah,
For
I'm trying
such
to.
a yogi, the momentum towards the asampragnata samadhi is really fast. Because they don't have any other thoughts in their head. They only dwell on this. So should we go to the next sutra? Yes, Shravani, yes.
Ma'am, here the lowest state of Chitta Bhumi means up to Ekagra. Even Ekagra is also considered as a lower state of Chitta Bhumi.
Niruddha state is where they do not have any object of concentration. They are in asampragnata samadhi. That's why I said they are in ekagra avastha. They are only concentrating on attaining asampragnata samadhi. They are still lingering in sampragnata samadhi, but tending towards asampragnata samadhi. Once they've mastered sampragnata samadhi, then they will get into the niruddha avastha. That is when they would have attained, that is the result, which is called as asampragnata samadhi. The result of sampragnata samadhi, the end result of sampragnata samadhi is asampragnata samadhi.
So the Adhimatra Tivrata and Adhimatra Samvega yogis will stay in ekagra state only.
Yes, once their practice becomes really firm and continuous, that is when they will be able to attain the asampragnata samadhi state. But we are talking, what are we talking about? We are talking about the kinds of yogis. And who are those kinds of yogis, and what are the different kinds of I can say the intents with which they are practicing? Some are serious, some are not, right? So here we are trying to categorize the yogis and say that the ones who have this intense urge to reach asampragnata samadhi are the ones who are the fastest to reach that state. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. But still, నాకు మేడం అడిగారు కదా, like how we are calculating తీవ్ర సంవేగ అనేది నాకు కొంచెం అంటే డిఫరెన్స్. It's like a intense urge and progress.
Intensity is what with regards to it. It has to be understood with regards to the upaya. Intensity is what. See, I can't apply. Where do I should I apply intensity vaguely? I can't apply intensity vaguely. Where do I apply intensity? I apply intensity on the technique that I'm using, right?
So, like తీవ్ర and samvega is like a continuation. So, అంటే intensity వల్ల మీకు progress వస్తుంది.
No, then intensity. What is the intensity with which they are making a progress? They are using the intensity of the technique. Okay, they are using the intensity of the technique. If the technique that they are using, they are really, I can say, bound upon using it always. That is called as the adhimatra kind of intensity. I am using the upaya. I'm also using shraddha, but I'm only doing it for 10 minutes in a day. Okay, so what category would I be? What category would I be classified under? Mrudu. I'm not very intent. I'm using the technique. I'm using the technique. Note that I'm using the technique, but the time, the duration, the intent with which the skalpa with which I'm using technique is very mild. Hello? Shravani, I can't hear you. Is it only with me? The others are also not able to hear her?
Not able to hear her.
Can any of you respond? Because I'm not able to hear her voice clearly.
Yes, ma'am. We can't hear also.
Ma'am, she disconnected. She got disconnected. She joined and again she disconnected.
Okay. So
Ma'am,
I think
sorry,
we should
నాది
make-
network difference వచ్చింది.
Yeah. Shravani, did you understand, or do you want another explanation of that? Okay, so we should make a progress. I mean, we are very slow. I thought we should complete until 30 sutras today. Okay. Shravani, I'll explain this to you in a greater detail if you would like after the class. Okay, let me just finish off with this.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Yeah, I will definitely explain this. Don't worry. Now, let's go into, if this is clear to all the others, I would like to proceed with Sutra number 23. I will tell you one important thing. Today, I wanted to just give you a heads up on that as well. See, I can go on explaining. I can take hours to explain a single concept. There is so much to learn. So much that the time that we have is always a crunch, right? So if we look at the syllabus that we have, it's humongous. Like it's like a big monster standing right in front of us. We have not even put our step into it now. There is so much in the syllabus that the 6 months also won't be enough. This is a syllabus which is part of the bachelor's program, master's program, and also a little bit is part of the PhD also, the coursework. Okay, such is the I can say the amount of the syllabus that we have for UGC NET. So would you think 6 months would be enough for this? Definitely not. If we are going into a greater
Ma'am,
deep,
your screen is not visible and your voice
I'm
is
not
breaking.
listening. My voice is breaking for all the others also.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, it's
No,
clear.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So Gunjan, check your signal. So yeah, what I was trying to say is we should make a good progress, especially having the examination in the mind. We should make a good progress. If I keep taking a lot of time and continue the classes for many weeks, what happens is you will not be able to take any other classes in that slot. Only if I make the slot vacant for the other teachers would they be able to take another subject. You're getting it? You're getting it? So to crack the NET exam, you should be good in a way where you're able to answer it from an examination point of view. But having said that, we should also not kind of let go the important concepts. We should definitely, that's why I spent a lot of time from sutra number 15 to 20. I spent a lot of time because those sutras are related to the core concept of yoga sutras, the samadhi part and all that. Okay. Now, from an examination point of view, you might get a question like, what are the 3 kinds of yogis? Mridu, Madhya, Adhimatra. You know that, right? So if such questions appear, we shouldn't spend like hours and hours discussing, debating about this. That is my intent. I mean, you should be benefited from an examination point of view. I have no hesitation to teach more about that and also learn from you all. But it should serve the purpose, right? Do you all agree with me? Yeah.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I was targeting that we should at least complete 5 to 10 sutras a day. If they are very simple in the sense that you are able to understand it without any hassle, like they're straightforward questions from an examination point of view, we shouldn't spend a lot of time on that. Rather, we should just get to that those words and understand, remember them, and just move to the next sutra. If we want more discussion on that, we can do it anytime. Like apart from the class timing that we have, you can always call me. I'm available. Okay, you can discuss with me. Okay, if you're interested, I'm very interested in this subject. So I'll be happy if you can call me if you have any doubts on this. You can definitely reach out. Okay, I'll be more than happy to answer. But from an examination point of view, we should make a good progress. We should be at the Adhimatra level. Okay. Having said that, don't compromise on the concept. Have the concept and also the speed, both. Okay. So we'll go to the 23rd one, which is Ishwara Pranidhanadhva. Okay. Or what is the other method? Now they have given all those methods, right, for attaining Asampragnata Samadhi, Bhava Pratyaya Yogis, and then they have given the Upaya Pratyayas, which we saw. Apart from that, what is the other method to attain Asampragnata Samadhi? Okay, what is the other method to attain Samadhi is Ishwara Pranidhana. Ishwara Pranidhana, Ishwara is who? Is God. Pranidhana, you can understand the word as surrender, with complete devotion. Okay, surrender to the Almighty with complete devotion. 1 second. Why is this troubling me? So give me a second. Yeah, I'll start sharing this. Yeah. So Ishvara Pranidhana is Ishvara is God, and Pranidhana is surrender with devotion. Okay, surrendering to the God with devotion is Ishvara Pranidhana. And Adhva, there is a word Adhva, right? Va. That Va is or. So why they've given or is, this sutra is the continuation of the other methods. This is also one of the methods to attain the asampragnata samadhi, along with the other methods that we have seen. Clear? Clear? So Ishvara Pranidhanadva, that is the sutra. Are you all clear with this? Don't complicate it. This is quite simple sutra. Like, this is another method for attaining asampragnata samadhi. But what is important to understand here is, for a conceptual clarity, Ishvara Pranidhana is being a complete devotee of God. Also helps you in attaining asampragnata samadhi. That is what is being said here. Okay, so the word pranidhana, what does it mean? Placing completely, absolutely, thoroughly, being devoted to God, surrendering everything to God. That aspect is called as Ishvara Pranidhana. Now, what is the definition of Ishvara? Coming to the definition of Ishvara, now when they are telling, when Sage Patanjali says that Ishvara Pranidhana is a method to attain asampragnata samadhi, now he makes it a point to also explain what are the qualities of Ishvara. This sutra talks about the qualities of Ishvara. He is kind of defining who that Lord is. Right? For many people might assume many things, but what is actual Ishvara, and how is Sage Patanjali?
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Voice is breaking. We
Oh
can't hear,
God.
ma'am.
Is it better now? No?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So God is the one who is devoid, who is not affected with kleshas. Kleshas, how many of you know about kleshas? Any one of you answer what are the kleshas? Rajeshwari ji, can you answer the
Yeah.
kleshas?
Yes, ma'am. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abnivesha. So avidya is the breeding ground for the rest of the kleshas.
Exactly. So for the ones who do not know about kleshas, please make a note. The kleshas are avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. I repeat it once again. Kleshas are 5. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. These are the 5 kleshas. Kleshas in English are called as afflictions. Now, why is he giving the word klesha while he's defining the quality of Ishvara? He's saying Ishvara is the one who is not affected because of kleshas. He's not associated with kleshas at all. He's untouched. He's devoid of kleshas. Getting it? So kleshas are applicable to whom? Who gets affected with kleshas? Quick.
Arjun.
Tail wings.
Bhava Pratyaya yogis.
No, it's not just bhava pratyaya yogis. It's all human
All.
beings get affected with kleshas. All of us, all of us get affected with kleshas. But Ishvara is that special Purusha, Purusha Vishesha. Purusha Vishesha is a special quality, okay, special kind of Purusha who does not get affected because of klesha. Getting it? And he we can't even use a gender, but generally because it's Purusha we associate with he, but this Purusha Vishesha, who's the Lord or God, is also devoid or untouched because of karmas. He does not have any effect of the karmas. Okay, he's untouched even by the karmas. Do you know the different kinds of karmas?
Yes, ma'am. 5 karmas are there. Means Shukla karma, Krishna karma, Shukla, Ajur karma. Like this, ma'am. Another two, not remembering. But 5 karmas are there.
Sanchita karma, those are also there. Sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, nishkama karma.
Those are the different kinds of karmas. But here in yoga, karmas are defined as Shukla, Krishna. Then there is Shukla, Krishna, Ashukla, and Akrishna. Okay, you can make a note of this. There are 5 kinds of karmas, which are especially with regards to yoga. Okay, now what are these 5 karmas? The 5 karmas are the karmas which are associated with yogis and non-yogis. For yogis, the 2 kinds of karmas are Ashukla and Akrishna. For non-yogis, the karmas are Shukla, Krishna, Shukla, Krishna. Clear? Now,
Ma'am, will you repeat again?
karmas are applicable to 2 kinds of people, yogis and non-yogis. Right? Karmas. What are karma? What is the general meaning of karma?
Acts or deeds.
Yes. Any acts or deeds that we perform are called as karmas. So those karmas apply to yogis and non-yogis. Now, why have they separated this? I will tell you in a little bit why they have separated it. Because for the people who do not follow yoga, they will do the deeds or acts with some intention in their head, like with some desire in their head. They don't do it without that desire. They don't do it with the feeling of nishkama karma. Okay, they do the act, but they have a desire attached to that. That is the karma of a non-yogi. But the one who understands what yoga is, for that kind of a person, he will not associate any desire or fruit from that act. He will not expect any kind of fruit from that act. I want this or that. He's okay with anything. His duty is to perform that act. With what bhavana? With the bhavana of doing it without any intention. Nishkama karma. I don't expect anything out of this. I'm doing it because this is my duty, and I do it with all diligence, with all grace, with a feeling that I am the one who's supposed to do it and I will do it. That is the intent of a yogi. That's the feeling of a yogi. For a non-yogi, this thought never comes. He will do it having an intention behind. Okay, he will do it just because of the result that it accrues. I want this result, that's why I'm doing this. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this. Okay, that is a non-yogi. That is a karma of a non-yogi. That is why karma is different for yogis and non-yogis. For yogis, the karmas are of two kinds. For the yogis, karmas are of two kinds. What are the two kinds of karmas? A Shukla, a Krishna. Getting it? A Shukla and
Yeah.
a Krishna. What is a Shukla? What is a Shukla? It is Nishkam karma. It might be a deed which might accrue negative result. Okay. A Krishna, again a Nishkama karma which might accrue a positive result, something like that. Okay. So both a Shukla and a Krishna are related to Nishkama karma. A karma done without the result in mind. Now, the other karmas which are associated with the normal human beings are Shukla. Shukla are the karmas which are positive in nature, like good karmas, good deeds. Okay, Shukla karmas are the ones which are good deeds. Any good deeds that one performs are falling under or classified under Shukla karmas. Krishna karmas are the karmas which are negative or bad deeds. A Shukla, a Krishna karmas are the mixed kind of acts. Okay, they are positive and negative, both. Okay, so I repeat it once again. For the karma part, I'm explaining the karma because for humans the karmas apply. For Ishvara is untouched by the karmas. He is not affected by the karmas. He does not have to undergo all that we undergo. Okay, the consequences of good karmas, the consequences of bad karmas, all this is not there. Okay. Now, for humans, the karmas are for yogis and non-yogis. For yogis, they have two kinds of karmas. Ashukla, which are nishkama karma, which are maybe they are done as good deeds, but they might have some kind of effect on somebody, but they are done with a good intent. A Krishna also done with a good intent, which are nishkama karma, but might have negative consequences on the yogi. But he is not worried about that. He is not worried about that. Those are the kind of two karmas which are associated with yogis. For non-yogis, there are three kinds of karmas. One is Shukla karma, which are good deeds. Krishna karma, which are bad deeds. Shukla Krishna karma, which are mixed deeds or acts. Okay. So these karmas have their own fruits. Good karmas produce good results or good fruits. Bad karmas produce bad results or bad fruits. Okay. Now, what is vipaka? What is vipaka? Vipaka is nothing but the maturation or the ripening of the actions. So when the consequences accrue, that is when we see the vipaka of the karma. When the ripening of the actions happen, when the consequences are seen, that is what we call as vipaka. Okay, the ripening of the actions is called vipaka. Ashaya is nothing but the repository or the storehouse. So where are all these things getting stored? They have some kind of storehouse. That storehouse is nothing but the ashaya. That is where all the karmas are getting stored. The traces of those old karmas are getting stored in our ashaya. Okay. Then aparamrishta. Aparamrishta is that quality of God which is unsmeared, untouched, unblemished. Okay, he's not at all affected. God is not touched by any of these. God is not touched by what? God is not touched by kleshas, karmas, their vipaka, ashaya. He does not have ashaya also. There's no storage of the karmas, past karmas for God. So all these things are absent. You need to remember what is not applicable to God: kleshas, karma, vipaka, ashaya. All these things are not applicable to God. He's untouched by all these aspects. That is why he's called Purusha Vishesha, special kind of soul. That special kind of soul is Ishvara. He's made it very, very clear. Why you have to have Ishvara Pranidhana in the mind is because we as human beings are impure. We as human beings are not devoid of all these effects that all these things accrue, right? Kleshas, karmas, their vipaka, ashaya. We are not devoid of all these things. We are limited in our existence. We are limited in our understanding. We are limited in so many aspects. So when we understand that limitation, we understand that surrendering to some entity which has no influence of all these things will accrue a peaceful journey towards asampragnata samadhi. Okay, getting it? So that's why he made this point very, very, very clear. So therefore, for the believers, whichever religion it is, whatever religion they follow, he never mentioned any religion here. He's making it religion neutral. Anybody from any religion can follow this aspect. Okay, the God might be named differently, but the concept of God, definitely the qualities of God would be the same. Like the God won't be affected by all these things in any religion. That's why he very nicely put it in a sutra, saying that these are the qualities of that special Purusha. And that is who is called as Ishvara. Okay, now I'm going to the next one. Is this clear? So the next sutra is the attribute of Ishvara, which is called Tatra Niratishayam Sarvagna Bijam. Now, what is Tatra Niratishayam Sarvagna Bijam? Tatra Niratishayam is, Tatra is in God. In God lies that. Lies what? Lies that all inclusive, omniscient. Omniscient is which has every kind of potentiality in it. That kind of potential is residing in God. That kind of seed is residing in God. Okay, Tatra Niratishayam. Niratishayam is given as limitless. Now, everything that we see, like everything that is manifest, is already there, right? So Niratishayam is the ultimate one, which is not excelled by anything else. It is a par excellence. It is the ultimate thing. Okay, there is nothing more than that. Tatra is in God. There is that kind of potency. Okay, bijam is nothing but seed. Bijam means seed. So you see, God has that quality of omniscience. Okay, in him, that seed of omniscience is present, which is of par excellence. It's the ultimate. Getting it? So it is unmatched and unexcelled. There's nothing which can match that. That is the attribute of Ishvara. Now, 26th Sutra says, Purveshamapi Guru Kalena Anavachedat. Now, what is Purvesham? Purvesham is the one who came at the very beginning, the teacher who came at the very beginning. Who was that? Who is that? Maybe we take it as Hiranyagarbha or Prajapati, whoever came as the first teacher. Okay, so Purvesham, God came even before those other teachers who are known as the greatest or the first teachers. Okay, so even before those teachers, God was the teacher. Okay, Kalena, the word Kalena says that he's not limited because of the time. Okay, he's never limited because of the time. Time is not a delimiting factor for God. Anavachedat, because he is not delimited by time. Now, how I put the sutra together is God is the guru of even the very first gurus. God is the guru of the very first gurus. He's the earliest guru. Okay, the most ancient and the most former of the teachers. That is God. And because of God, there is he's not delimited because of the time. That is another aspect given in this sutra. He is the first guru, even the guru of all the gurus. Okay, even the first guru, and he's not delimited because of time. So why the time aspect is given is because we are putting God as the first teacher. It definitely means that he is not limited because of time. When do we go back? How do we go back? We go back only in relation with the time. When we say that he's the first guru, here time is never a delimiting factor. We have gone back to the very beginning of the universe. Right? So we said that God is the first guru of all the gurus. Purveshamapi guru kalena anavachedat. Okay, he's not delimited because of time. He is the earliest of the gurus. Then the next sutra is Tasya Vachakah Pranavaha. That is the 27th sutra. Tasya Vachakah Pranavaha is the aspect where we say that how do we denote God? How do we call God? We call God with Om. Pranava is also called as Om. Okay, so that is the indicator or the designator or the name that we attribute to God. Okay, Tasya is his, of it, of what? Of God. Vachakaha. Vachakaha is the signifier. The signifier or the word or name that signifies God. What is that word that signifies God? Pranavaha. Pranavaha is nothing but Om. It's a synonym of Om. Okay, so the word Om is his name, is nothing but the name of God. So Om is the name of God. Pranava is the name of God. Is this clear? Please answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So these sutras are very straightforward. I mean, you all can understand it very easily. There is nothing much for me to kind of keep explaining over and over. Very straightforward sutras. You will easily be able to answer the questions associated with these sutras. Okay, that's why I'm not kind of spending a lot of time. Where we can proceed, I'm just going into the next sutra. Okay, if you don't understand, please stop me. Okay, then the next sutra, which is the 28th sutra, says Tat Japastartha. Sorry, I'll repeat this once again. I always make a mistake while I'm chanting the sutra. Tat Japa Tatartha Bhavanam. So that japa, of which japa? That japa of Om. What did we learn in the previous sutra? We learned that the name of God is Om or Pranavaha. So if we are doing that japa of that word Om with the complete bhavana, okay, complete feeling and bhavana, a sense of emotion, pure emotion attached to it, which dwells in the mind. If you're doing the japa with that kind of intention, that is called as tad japas tadartha bhavanam. Okay, now here that japa of Om and cultivating the feeling and absorbing into its meaning completely is related to Ishvara Pranidhana, is nothing but the surrender in the real sense. Okay, with the practice. What are you doing? You're using the japa, which is a technique to surrender to God. Getting it? This is nothing but the practice that you are doing for Ishvara Pranidhana, for a complete surrender to God. Now, what happens because of this is given in the next sutra, the result of this practice. The result of this practice is tatah pratyat chetana adhigamo apyantaraya bhavascha. So tatah, what happens from that practice of Om? The practice of Om leads to your inward consciousness. Okay, what happens? Pratyat chetana. There is a consciousness within us, right? So that practice of Om japa leads to the awakening of that inward consciousness. Okay, we realize that inward consciousness. And antaraya abhava, antaraya, it is also removing the obstacles on the way. Okay, when we do this japa of Om, it is helping us to realize the inner consciousness, and also it is helping to remove the obstacles. Okay, antaraya abhavascha. So it is helping us to also remove the obstacles. It makes the obstacles go away. Okay, so that is what it does, the result of the Om japa. Okay, if I put the sutra together, so through the practice of Om, what accrues is the attainment of your inward consciousness, and the realization of the inner consciousness. Also, the impediments are removed. The obstacles are all removed. They are all made absent when you chant the Om mantra. Clear with this?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll stop it here. We'll chant the sutras for some time. For the people who have doubts or are not clear about any aspect, you can please feel free to get in touch with me. I would be happy to answer your questions. Okay, because I need to make use of the little time that we get every day, so that we all make a good progress and you are learning it in a systematic way for the exam. Okay, so I'll stop the recording now and we'll have another recording for the chanting. That's what Rahul sir suggested. So I'm going to just stop the recording for a minute and again I'll start it.